And we are live, queuing up the theme song, of course. What's up, Jay? What's up, Jay?
Keep your ears open for this one. You got a question for RLM? It's time to get some answers, baby. Now we get real. Time to get down.
You feel good now, real good. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. I am your humble host, not so humble host, Rebecca L. Norrington, happiness specialist, inner peace practitioner. Do I have to go on and on and on and on? No, I don't. But most importantly, a student, just like you, ongoing, always learning, always expanding. And when I say happiness specialist, let me just be very clear. When I talk about happiness, it's not about something happens and now I'm happy. It is the ability to maintain and sustain an energy, a personal vibration of peace and contentment, regardless of what happens, and regardless of what doesn't happen. The good news is contentment, peace, happiness. It is a vibration, it's an energy, and it is a practice skill. All you got to do is practice every single day, every waking hour, every moment. I was at the gym this morning and oh Jesus, practice is just never ending. No breaks, no vacation. I was at the gym this morning and this gentleman asked me, of course I'm getting these questions. One of my biggest challenges is these questions from these robots, from these program people. And what's the question now? What are you doing for Christmas? Any Christmas plans? It's so interesting how the programming is so deep that there's not, and I'm going to speak for myself, there, even the awareness that I'm saying something that is a program statement. It is very deep, these deep programs that feel, quite frankly, feel like, yeah, that's real. That makes sense. This is no easy practice to, at every moment, constantly be aware, stay aware of what I'm saying, why I'm saying it, what's my intention, what do I want from this piece or drama. It is constant. What's up, Jay? But I have to tell you, at 70 years old, we only have 2 more weeks in this year. At 70 years old, did I say 70? At 70 years old, it just comes down to one thing. Well, maybe 2 or 3, but really this one thing. It is, am I identifying with this human illusion, when I say illusion, this humanness, or am I identifying with the higher, the soul, the source, creator, God, universe, whatever term you want to use or feel comfortable using? It's just a word. What entity am I identifying with? And in any moment, if I'm identifying with Rebecca and all of her preferences and all of her discontentment with, when I say her, I'm talking about the mind, the ego, the thoughts, the stories, all of this, what it's supposed to look like. It is a constant challenge. It's not a struggle anymore. It is really. Let me just jump really quickly. I was talking to my best friend, and he said, "What?" I made a statement, and he said, "Who wants that to be different? Who wants something to change?" And I have to say, "Oh God, Rebecca does." And it is that knowing the difference and being aware, staying aware will always, always, always be a more peaceful path. It's just automatic. Today's topic, well, and let me just, and today's topic, I've been getting this. Well, I always, in living in this world, some of the beliefs, deep-seated beliefs, are this programming, which is, I believe that I can sabotage myself. I believe, when I say I quotes, Rebecca believes that I can do something or think something or behave in a certain way of self-sabotage. And I even, hold on a second, because I printed out the definition of sabotage. And I'm here just to share my perspective. I don't pretend to have all the answers. I don't pretend to yes, I do. I don't I don't pretend to have all the answers, but what I do lean into is, what is the truth? Is there anything in nature or in the universe that mm, that can be sabotaged? Can anything in nature be sabotaged? So my point is, this concept, this label, self-sabotage, is also another programmed belief. It's a programmed belief, believing that I or you can sabotage what God, the universe, source has planned. Yeah, I can sabotage God's plan. I can make something. I can change. I don't want to say that. I can sabotage God's plan for me. I can affect, not affect. I can change my destiny. I know I get a lot of feedback. I get a lot of pushback on that one. But I'm the one that believes that we're all destined. When you say it's going to be a great day, then the day becomes a bad day. There's no such thing as a great day or a bad day. There's no such thing, my dear Jay. And thank you for the question. I love questions. There's no such thing. It's just a day. Bad and good is another program belief, is another program judgment. So what do I practice? It's just a day. That good day, bad day, I let go of that decades ago. In fact, it was funny. My son, he used to tell me, he says, I like having bad days. And then I said, there's no such thing. Good day, bad day. It's just a day. But you see how deep the programming is? Yeah, this was a great day. Listen, my dear audience. Listen, folks. You can feel what I'm saying in a cellular level. Does believing that you can sabotage yourself have does that have an energy of lightness, or is that more on a heavy side? Is that bad day? My practice is to move towards scratch that. My practice is to maintain and move towards, lean into what feels universal? What feels, I'm going to use this word harmony, content. What feels more peaceful? Does it feel more peaceful to believe that I can sabotage what God has planned? I mean, how does that feel? Isn't that something off to that? Yeah, God has this life. When I say life planned, this experience, God wants this experience for God wants me to experience this. And guess what? I'm going to throw a monkey wrench in it. I'm not going to allow God universe to have its way or have its will. The universe all will is always being done. God's will is always being done. That's what I believe. So back to the question, when you say it's going to be a great day, how about this? Great day. How about this? How about, is this going to be a conscious day? Is this going to be a day of self-awareness? Is this going to be a day of transcending? Is this going to be a day of making a conscious decision that either my ego wins, or I'm going to be representing consciousness? I'm representing the universe. Either I'm representing a human or I'm representing the universe. This ain't easy. But back to the whole sabotage, because I did type it out. Sabotage is the deliberate, just reading it. Sabotage is the deliberate act of damaging, disrupting, or obstructing a system, organization, often to weaken an enemy, cause chaos, or to protest policies. Okay, self-sabotage is when a person engages in behaviors or thought patterns that undermine your own goals. Here we go. Let's break this down. Undermine your own goals. What if Rebecca, the human Rebecca, has a different goal or different intention than what God has for me? What do you think is going to prevail? God's goal, God's plan, or Rebecca's plan? So even your own goals. Self-sabotage is when you engage in behaviors or thought patterns that undermine your own goals, happiness, or success, often unconsciously, stemming from deep-seated fears like failure or worthlessness. You see how this worthlessness, and I'm going to say, how does that feel to believe, yeah, I can self-sabotage? Doesn't even make sense. Doesn't make sense to me. Worthlessness and manifesting as, here we go, manifesting as procrastination, addiction, negative self-talk, or ruining relationships. It's a paradox acts when your mind trying to protect you from perceived harm. Blah, 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 blah. Signs of self-sabotage include procrastination, negative self-talk, perfectionism, picking fights. Oh, I used to do that. Poor decision making, and undermining goals. Now, undermining goals. I don't make any goals. I don't make goals. Well, I do have a to-do list, but if it gets to, but this goal, 6-month goal, 3-month goal, where do I want to be? What do I want to be experiencing 3 months? I don't have a clue. I don't want a clue. I'm living in the moment. I'm living in a place, in a space that God is driving. The universe is driving. I'm here to do what? To surrender, to accept, to practice not resisting, to practice being in awe of the moment, to practice letting go of all of these programs. There is no such thing as a good day or a bad day. It's just a day. Perfection is fruitful. Well, what is perfection? I mean, looking around, listen, that's another one. That's another one. Everything is perfect. Even when the mind says it's not. Every moment is perfect. Every experience is perfect. Look out into nature. Is there perfection in nature? The birds fly. When I was living in Roseburg, Oregon, not to get off, of course, I'm always off on another tangent. They're called swifts. 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 Not Swifties, not Taylor Swift fans, even though I am a fan of her music, most of it. But they're called swifts. And I think they come all the way. Do they come from Canada? I don't know where they start, but they come all the way from North America, and they fly all the way down. And I believe their destination is in Mexico. I really need to do research before I start talking. Anyway, you can look it up. It's called the Swift. They're called swifts, and they make this long journey, hundreds and hundreds of miles. And in Roseburg, Oregon, where I used to live, there is it's in a park. It's a huge chimney. It's a chimney that is probably 3 stories high, 2 to 3 stories high. And these swift birds, every sundown and every sunset, in the sundown, they fly, and they all, don't ask how, they all fit in that chimney. They all fit in that brick chimney. And you could see them. The sky gets really, really black. They're black birds. And are they black birds? But the sky looks black because there's so many of them. And they all circle around, and they circle around. They go in the chimney. And in the morning, they fly out on to their destination. My point is perfection. Nature is perfection. All of the animals doing their migrating and their hibernation, hunting, mating, springtime. What is this? Dr. Dolittle show? It is perfection. That concept with the perfectionism. If you are able to break from or distance yourself from that I'm being perfect again, without that judgment, there is a judgment that is attached to that perfection. So even that term perfectionism, being a perfectionist, I get it, but even that is part of the plan. And when that term, because I used to think when I hosted a show, I have to have everything just right, perfectionist. I gave myself that label too. But there is a switch, there is a shift in believing and thinking that is something negative, to that's what I'm just detailed in the moment. I'm noticing detail, period. And when I finish noticing detail, and when it's time for me not to notice the detail, then it's over. See, the labeling, I'm a procrastinator, I'm a perfectionist, I'm it is really, The belief in a concept, here we go. The belief in a concept is a program. All I'm here is trying to lighten everything up, people. Hold on a second. Let me get closer. One of the things that I learned just a couple of days ago, I was interviewed on Friday, is to move the chair back, but I have to have a tray here. So instead of me being like this in the screen, but I can't read the chat, so I have to do that because I can't read that far. Guru is perfection measurable. Oh, okay. Oh, the New Year's self-sabotage resolutions. Now, are you talking about other people, Jay, or are you talking about my dear Jay? Is perfection measurable? Perfection isn't even real. It's a man-made concept. What's perfect? So that's what I'm saying. These labels that have been bestowed on all of us. Can we just put it around? There's another label. There's another label I carry, lazy. And now at this point, lazy is a good thing. And that's all I'm trying to say, is that the constant thinking or believing that a label is bad, wrong, unwanted, undesirable. No, perfection. Yeah, in that moment, every moment is perfection. Lazy. What a great way to describe me. I mean, come on. That's what I'm saying. You can switch anything up when you practice staying open to all concepts, to all possibilities, to all perspectives. Even if the perspective isn't understood, I know that everything that happens to me, that everything that happens is serving me in some way, even though Rebecca would like it changed. If Rebecca had this world set up, it would be so different. But it's not Rebecca's setup. It's God's setup. It's the universe's setup. And so getting back to this self-sabotage, if you ask me, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as sabotaging self. There's nothing I can do that can stop, start, speed up, slow down what the universe has planned. Hold on. Other people. Oh, you see, and let me tell you something, Jay. This is one of the things, and because we've known each other for what, 50 years now? I'm sure you can share with me what you've evaluated, and what I've evaluated with you, and when we do share, it is about other people, and we got to get, other people are not our business. Other people are the universe's business. Other people, and I get it. All the other people, when I'm in other people's business, guess what? When I am noticing what other people doing, making a judgment about what other people doing, paying attention to what other people are doing, put a spotlight on what other people doing, guess what I am? Starts with an M. Miserable. Other people? Not my business. Other people? Who cares? Unless somebody is coming to the door to blow the house up or burn the house down. No, I'm not. Letting other people go, and letting other people do what they do. In fact, somebody was talking about, there's only a few people, I don't know how many, but everybody isn't going to get or understand or comprehend this message right now. It's just not their time. You've heard me say we're all avocados and some of us are just ripe. So it's just not time for these other people. You don't know how many years, how many decades I've spent trying to help and put a spotlight on these other people. They need help, don't they? Don't they need help? They need my help. No, it's letting go of these other people, even if the person is a relative, a son, a loved one, partner, letting these people go. And that noticing, here we go. That noticing what other people are doing and being there just for me, I just remember when I used to do it, there was I'm not going to use that word, but there was a I'm more evolved than you, or I'm at another level than you, or I'm at this place and you're not. There's a something about that I'm better than you. You follow me? Not that I'm better, but there is a level of looking at other people and where they are and what level and putting a judgment on it. I'm surrounded by program people, family member. The program people are the majority. They are. Oh, and and the practice is to do exactly what the universe does, which is accept without judgment these people, because they're getting a lesson too. They're being served too with their wacky screwed ass backwards way of thinking about the world. It's just not their time. It's letting go of other people. Oh, that's such a hard one. And like all of these program behaviors, there is an addiction to, I'll tell you what I'm addicted to. It's a program concept. Scratch that, not addicted to, but I'm aware that Rebecca is addicted to. Yes. Yes. That is another program behavior, is comparing. I mean, even I've caught Rebecca even comparing relationships with other parents and their children. Oh, gee, my relationship with my son isn't really like that, and he doesn't call me like that, and he doesn't contact me, and the comparing is hell. The comparing is just another deep hole of discontentment, unhappiness. It's just a deep, unending hole, dark hole. The comparing, I used to compare, even now, there. Listen, even though I believe in my head that I'm global, scratch that, because that's all ego. But this global thing, and people listening to the show, and maybe 5 people listen, maybe 3 people listen, sometimes maybe 20 people listen. But these people have 25,000 people. These people have 50,000 live people on live streams. And these people, I had to let that go too. And I've shared that story. And the story is, when I first started, Jay, you remember this. When I first started, people weren't listening to the people. Nobody was listening to me. And in fact, that's one of the things I had to, that the practice has to let go of: numbers. I'm not looking at how many people listened or didn't listen or tuned in. Oh, they listened for 3 minutes and then they tuned out. Why all of the programming brings with it anxiety, tenseness, living in the future. It is just the comparison, the being in somebody else's business. I'm just telling you, it's another programmed behavior. And no one compares trees. Oh, look at that palm tree. That palm tree is so much better looking than that palm tree. Oh, let's look at the stars in the sky. Oh, that star looks way better than that other star. Look at the, go on and on and on. The comparing is just another pit. I'm telling you, these program behaviors, you already know, I've got 56 of them in the book, 3 different levels, level 1, level 2, level 3. And in fact, where's my comparing? Yep, look at that. Level 1, number 2, comparing yourself to others. And the other thing is needing to be right. And not only needing to be right, but needing to be in somebody else's business, or thinking that I know what's right for someone else. There's a gentleman at the gym. He's 86. I mean, this is my life now. I'm surrounded by all these elderly people. These gray hairs. Anyway, he's shared this story with me more than once. And he has an addiction. Listen to this. He has an addiction to feeling being sad. And let me explain. And he even told me. So let me explain. I might have talked about him before. Cool guy, nice guy. Wife, for I think 40 years or so, died of cancer. It was about a year and a half. He took care of her. Girlfriend for about 20 years, died of cancer. He took care of her. And when he shares, we were talking about it today, when he shares different stories, he gets very emotional. He can start crying. He gets tears coming out of his eyes. And this was months ago. And he says, it's just so sad. The how it ended is so sad. Now, months ago, Rebecca, happiness specialist, took an issue with him. It said, well, there's another way to look at it. You don't have to look at it. You don't have to look at it as sad. You can look at it in a different way. How about being grateful? How about thinking about the memories? Why is it that you have to look back and feel sad? You see, and this is in real life. So this happened months ago when we first met, and he was telling me the story. And what was that? That was Rebecca, number 1, in somebody else's business. Number 2, thinking that him feeling sad is not good, or is not what he should be doing. Be grateful. Don't feel sad. You see? But then the wanted to get in his business, and he even said it today, and he even brought tears today. We were talking about the girlfriend that left him a letter. And I said, wow, that's really nice. And I said, you've read it? He says, I haven't really gotten through it because it makes me very sad. I think he's read it, but what a gift. Someone you love dies and they leave you a letter, a love letter. I mean, what a gift. But Rebecca doesn't like the fact that he attaches sad to it. You see the difference? This person needs to feel that sad emotion. This person needs to get into that state every time he talks about them. This is what he needs. What? That doesn't make any sense. And that could even be that can even be thought of as a sabotage. Self-sabotaging your happiness when you're sad about two people that you love that have died, that have passed. This is not an easy this is a constant never ending aware of everything, every thought, and whether or not it is ego driven, ego authored, or universal. And that is the practice, all in a nutshell. That is the comparison. It is the path of grief. The path of grief. Well, okay, path of grief. I'm trying to. I'm in the moment. In the moment, does that whole thing about grief? Let me just say this: the labeling emotions is another program. I've already said it. This sad grief, all of this. Yeah, this is what grief looks like. Now, can grief last 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, as long as the person is alive? Grief, I'm still grieving, because that's what it sounds like. That's what it feels like when we chat. There's a grief. But what if that's another program? There is a moment, there is a time, there is a place. I mean, I'm just thinking about when my parents died, and there is a place where the world calls grief or grieving. And there is a time, there is some kind of emotions that do come up that are very up and down, thoughts coming, tears, all of that, especially after someone's death, or even reflection of or memories. But who defines grief exactly? And every one of us is different. I would love to believe and practice that even the closest people to me, closest meaning best friend and son, if anything happened to him, and don't think that I haven't thought this, if anything happened, that this grieving would not look like what the masses say grief should look like. And I get it. And grief can, and that grief can come from, or can be labeled a lot of different things. It just doesn't have to be death. Grief over a relationship that ended. But let's dissect this grief now that you got me on it. Thanks, Jay. Grief is all from the past. Grief is all in the past, isn't it? If I'm really, truly in the present moment, where does grief come from? Where does grief come from if I'm really in the present moment? I'm just gonna remember with the parents dying, and my parents right now. I mean, I talk to them all the time. Those goofy, wacky people, Ralph and Marcel. And I get it. I promise you, I do the programming of having to go through grief when someone dies, or thinking that grief is a natural progression of emotions after someone dies. But what if there's something that it can't just be grief? It can be more than just grief. It can be a celebration. It can be, people. The whole programming is the RIP cards. The Hallmark cards. That's what I want to say. They're all the same. Rest in peace. Sorry for your loss. It's all the same verbiage. It's all the same words. There's something off with that. If everything is uh, just like cattle being herded, there's something off with everyone experiencing the same thing the same way. Am I right? Oh, is it normal to feel a certain way after death? I said, there's a program for it, of course. There is a path of grief. There is an emotion that comes, but I'm going to say that this grief thing and this holding on to it's for not wanting to, who cares if I sound callous? I'm very callous. Not wanting to remain. I'm in the moment. I have family members. I have people that are in my life that are older, that are in their 80s and in their 90s. And if they go before I do, then of course I'm going to experience something, but I'm not going to experience death the same way I experienced it decades ago. The same way I experienced it, because every death, every funeral, every time that has happened, it is a different vibration. It is a different experience. It's not like decades ago. I remember saying, and I've said this before on the show, I remember saying, I don't know what I'm going to do if my parents died. I don't know how I would survive if my mother and father were dead. I just don't know how. I remember really believing that, thinking that in my 20s and my 30s. It's just different. It is an evolution. It is an evolution, evolving, a personal evolving. And I can't see, for me, grief hanging around for a long time. I'm ready to jump on a joke. Now, would I be able to say that if my only son died? That's a hypothetical, and we don't do hypotheticals here. How's that? Back to the self-sabotaging. There's no such thing as procrastination. That just means you're just not inspired to take action. How's that? Negative self-talk. Well, all that negative self-talk, all it is just uh, thoughts coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. And the practice and the solution is to witness it. I have negative thoughts all the time, but I'm not up here. Got to put that so say I'm making a stew. Got to add some more seasoning. Got to add some more negative thoughts. No, that's just what happens in this state, in this humanness, is having all of these thoughts. I haven't found a way to just eliminate negative thoughts, and I'm not trying to, but I definitely don't give them any power, especially when I'm aware that they're trying to take power. Picking fights. Well, I used to do that a lot too. Only reason why picking fights is only because I was addicted to drama. Drama. Oh, it was terrible being peaceful. Poor decision making. No such thing. Every experience, every decision is perfect. Takes me to another place that I am supposed to experience. Undermining goals. These behavior often stem from fear, low self-worth, and past trauma, leading you to create problems in your career. Okay, so let's go to low self-worth. There was a time that I could say or define myself low self-worth. Why do you have low self-worth, and why? Because you're with some loser. That's another story. That's another story. Self-worth, low self-worth, high self-worth. There are decisions that I made yesterday, decades ago, that I wouldn't make now at all. Is that because high self-worth or low self-worth? No, it's just because I'm not going to make I'm not going to make that decision. Decisions I made back in my 60s, my 50s it's just going to be different. And that's for you too. Practice letting go of the stories as to why, the stories as to there is no story. There's no story. And how do we live without a story? This world needs stories. People feed off of stories. But the problem with that is there's only one perspective with that story. That story only just says one way. That story is very limited. And that's all I'm trying to say is the stories. Question every story and ask, is this the only perspective? If it is the only perspective that you can come up with, know that is all mind, that is all ego. It has been a real journey from 15 years ago to here. A real journey. So back to the truth. There is no such thing as self-sabotaging. I'm waiting for the arrows to stab me. Oh, there's one in my back. There's no such thing. I know the world says self-sabotaging is a real thing, but God cannot be sabotaged. The universe cannot be sabotaged. The little human cannot change the direction of what the universe or God, source, has willed. And with that should scratch the should. That's a lighter way of living. You can feel the difference. What happens is when all of these program beliefs are exposed and are eventually eliminated one by one with patience and practice, guess what? It feels different. The feeling is just lighter. There is an ease about life, regardless of what circumstances fall in your lap. There is an ease, there is a flow, there is a the only thing I can say is ease. A lightness and ease. And that comes with practice, that comes with trust, that comes with knowing that everything here has a purpose and everything here is here to serve you, including whatever decisions that have been made. It's all part of a bigger plan. Get it? Well, that's all that I have for today's show. Reality Spirituality is heard every Sunday at 9 a.m. live on YouTube. And my website is RebeccaNorrington.com. Follow me on X at RL Norrington. I'm on LinkedIn. My Instagram handle is Reality Spirituality. YouTube channel is growing. I'm very happy with the YouTube channel with the help that I'm getting from my YouTube expert. My first book, Reality Spirituality: The Truth About Happiness, can be purchased on Amazon. That was published in 2014. The latest book, Program for Unhappiness: Exposing the Untold Truth. This is on Amazon. It went to an international bestseller, Amazon bestseller. We all know that's a formula. But anyway, in this book, I list 56 program behaviors that subtract from happiness. 56. And one of them is comparing. The other one is believing that you can self-sabotage what God has planned. Until next week, my dear audience, I want you to remember who the hell you are. You are a physical extension of the universe. You are conscious energy, which is always evolving, always changing, always growing. Love is patient and love is kind. Be kind and be patient to yourself. Be your own best friend. And remember, you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. It is about the journey. You've been listening to Reality Spirituality Radio with yours truly, happiness specialist. Remember, happiness, inner peace, commitment are all practice skills. And I promise you, the more you practice, the more peace you're going to find, the more contentment you will experience. Every moment reflects on what a person practices. And whatever you believe, question the beliefs. Question whether or not you would have believed this at 6 months, at 1 year, at 2 years. Question whether or not your beliefs are programs. Because 98% of this population is programmed for unhappiness. Now my nose itches. Ooh, that's never happened. Queuing up the theme song. One of these days, or not, I will be in a studio with an engineer, but it ain't today. Enjoy the week. Have a conscious week. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah is being celebrated. Whatever you celebrate, have a very conscious, easy, appreciative, in the moment week.
It's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one. You got a question for RLN? It's time to get some answers, baby.
Oh, now we getting real. I can talk for 1 hour all by myself. It's crazy.